The Phoenix Suns are such a dumpster fire. It is crazy to think about what they were just 15 years ago. I mean, going from this 7-second offense era with Steve Nash to what they are now is truly baffling. And I'm here to talk to you guys about that today. So sit back, relax, and it's the What's Next for the Phoenix Suns. So, getting into the Phoenix Suns, they have made the playoffs since 2009, which I do believe is the longest active streak. And yeah, it just, it's from top to bottom. The organization is not great. The management is awful. I mean, if you look at what they've done in past drafts, with the fourth pick, I want to say, in 2016, I believe they took Dragon Bender, thinking he'd be like Kristaps Porzingis. Didn't turn out to be anything. And then in that same draft, 4 picks later, they took Marquise Chris when they could have taken Jamal Murray, So obviously 2 duds right there. Have just constantly avoided taking a point guard, which they desperately need, considering who their point guard is now. I think their point guard now is Tyler Johnson or something like that. I don't know. But 2 drafts ago, you took Josh Jackson 4th. And they could have actually had Kyrie, if you guys didn't know this, which is actually really funny. There was a trade the Suns, I think the Cavs offered. It was Eric Bledsoe. The Cavs said, if you guys give us Eric Bledsoe and the number 4 pick, you'll get Kyrie. And the Suns actually said no to that, which is so crazy to think about now, considering what Josh Jackson is now. It just isn't good. And I'm just going to talk about Josh Jackson really quickly, since, we're on... Actually, no. I'll talk about it later. I'll talk about it later when I'm talking about the other players. But, yeah, I mean, you draft Josh Jackson right over De'Aaron Fox, which I thought they were going to take De'Aaron Fox. I don't know why you take Josh Jackson, considering the fact you already have TJ Warren. It just doesn't make sense. And in this past draft, I don't like Ayton. I'm sorry. He isn't a modern day center. He can't shoot. He's strictly a post/paint player. He reminds me so much of DeAndre Jordan. A great rebounder who can get his touches down low, but won't give you that much offensively. But, I mean, it was just his first season, and he averaged 16 and 10 his first season, which is great. So maybe he can develop some sort of a shot, but him over Luka at the time just didn't make sense, considering the fact that their coach before he had been fired was Igor or something, but it was Luka Doncic's old coach. So I mean, it just made sense. You'd have the playmaking in Luka and the shooting, scoring of Devin Booker. I know there were talks about maybe problems of how they fit together, but I think without a doubt they would 100% fit together. But yeah, Suns, man, it's so crazy to think about. 15 years ago, what they are now. I mean, most teams obviously fall off, but not to the state that the Suns did, man. No way. But yeah, so now I just want to get into the key players, on their teams, and they do have a few. Starting off, going to go ahead, Devin Booker, far and away the best player on their team. Such a great player. He averaged 26 points per game this year. I know there are some concerns about him with me if he's a winner. I mean, anybody can put up stats like that on a trash team, So hopefully he can keep up the same thing when the pressure's on. When you're starting to fight for a playoff spot, can you continue to play at a great level? In the playoffs, can you continue to play at a great level? Is he a number 1 option on a championship team? Those are questions we're supposed to find out. Hopefully in at least the next 5 years, maybe the next 10. So there's that. I also want to talk about DeAndre Ayton. Now, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, I don't know how that fits. I don't know how they would fit together. They did obviously have some comparisons of Shaq and Kobe, but obviously those comparisons are really far-fetched. But I mean, I don't know. They had some troubles, I'm pretty sure, this season. There was some reports that came out that maybe the two didn't coexist. They couldn't coexist. They didn't like playing with each other and such like that. So yeah. But I mean, they're really young, so hopefully they'll mesh together. And then I want to talk about maybe the not so hot topics of that team, but other hot topics. First off, I want to talk about their overabundance at small forward. I mean, how many do they have? You got TJ Warren, Josh Jackson, and Kelly Oubre. 3 young small forwards looking for touches to prove themselves in this league. Just doesn't make sense. TJ Warren, obviously being the oldest out of the bunch, he's been in the league the most. is the most polished, I mean, you would say. Kelly Oubre came into his own this past season. He averaged, I think, around 16 points, which is great for him. A great jump, scoring with more opportunities. You know, he didn't get that many opportunities in Washington. But, I mean, yeah, he looked great this year. And then we want to talk about Josh Jackson, who I don't think he'll ever become anything. I think maybe he'll be a role player for the rest of his career. That's what I see from him. I know there's always talks about what he can do when given the opportunity. He plays well without Devin Booker, and this past season, I think past 3 seasons, he's played well. Now, I don't know if he has been in the NBA for 3 seasons, but ever since he got drafted, he's always been like a second half of the season type player. But I mean, that kind of makes sense, you know, because the second half for tanking teams, which the Suns have been tanking for a very long time, they always play their top guys that they want to play. You know, for the Suns, that'd be guys like Devin Booker and Josh Jackson and DeAndre Ayton. They always play them a lot of minutes, so they can get that experience up, so they can do better, you know, and learn from their mistakes, and it helps the tank. So that's just what I think that is. I don't think he's that's somebody that does better with more opportunities. I just think he's a good player on a bad team. Again, that goes back to the empty stats thing. I don't think he'd ever be a star player. He obviously won't ever be a star player. He probably won't be third, fourth, or maybe even fifth option on a championship team. I think this is what we'll see from Josh Jackson. Maybe a 11 to 12 to 13, maybe 14 point per game guy with great defense. But I mean, he still has high upside. I think this is his 3rd season, but he just got arrested, and that brings off the court issues. And I mean, he has a lot of on the court issues too. So that's it about him. One bright spot I do want to say, because I've been kind of chewing, so to say, the Suns for the past 7 minutes, is Mikal Bridges. That trade that they made with the Sixers was a great one. Mikal Bridges is a great 3-and-D player. I'm pretty sure he did lead all rookies in steals this year. He's just a great player. He's going to be a great bench player / role player, maybe even a starter for them for years to come. And yeah, so now I'm pretty sure I focus on all the key guys. So let's move on to what's next, basically. What I said I'm doing in the draft. There are 3 guys, maybe 2 guys I see them keying in this past draft, in this draft right here. And those 2 guys are Darius Garland, of course, and Kobe White. Those are 2 guys that I think they have to 100% go after. You know, you need a point guard. They don't have a point guard. Do they have an actual point guard on the roster? I don't think they have an actual point guard on the roster. I may be mistaken, but I mean, those are 2 key guys that'll be great for the team. But thinking of it, maybe more Darius Garland than Kobe White, because Kobe White, even though he did have high assist numbers, he's not, so to say, a playmaker, you know, because he doesn't make plays. You know, you can make the right pass, but that isn't, you know, a playmaker. When I think of playmakers, I think of guys like Kyrie and Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard, guys who can make plays. Playmaking is not just about assists at all. You know, it's more to basketball. It's more to playmaking than just assists. So I think that's what he is, an assist guy. I think Darius Garland will be a way better fit for this team. You know, even though I didn't watch much of it in college, I do know that he's a great playmaker. Well, maybe not great, but he's a better playmaker than Kobe White. So that's one guy that I definitely like to see them draft. And if for some reason, just if they decide to make that trade that's been talked about with them and the Bulls trading for Lonzo Ball, I think you do it. Lonzo, besides Devin Booker, will kind of be like yin and yang. You'd have Devin Booker scoring alongside Lonzo Ball's playmaking, because Lonzo Ball is a great playmaker. He's a great assist guy. He reminds me a lot of Jason Kidd. I'm gonna say it, like he looks like Jason Kidd to me. But and Lonzo's defense will complement Devin Booker's offense just well. I think the 2 would match well. That'd be like a match made in heaven. And they're both young. They can obviously both grow together. I think that'd be good. But I mean, yeah, that's really it for the Suns. I don't think they're going to be doing anything in free agency. They're not big players in free agency, obviously. They're just trying to rebuild. And that's what I see them doing for at least the next couple of seasons, is rebuilding. Doesn't look like they'll be making the playoffs anytime soon, especially in the West. And yeah, I hope they can definitely get a supporting cast around Devin Booker, man, because he needs it. He deserves it. He's been working his butt off ever since he was drafted. And yeah, so that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. It's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.